Oh god, we got a bunch more Black Ops to deal with, don't we? Oh, that feels good. Quick, clean. Oh, hey, guy.
Now, don't hurt me, and I'll tell you a secret. I've been hiding up here listening. These Black Ops have some sort of bomb. I think they're planning on blowing up the base. Now, why do you think they would do such a thing?
Okay, well, if this route is necessary for progression, then there's probably items that we can collect over here. Like rockets! Pistol ammo! Grenades! Magnum ammo! Batteries! Hello. You boys should have thought twice about who you were fucking with. I guess I haven't been using my remote charges for a little bit.
Crazy. I'm not opening this door until someone turns that bomb off.
Where's the bomb?
Be careful with that thing. I've got it covered. You just...
How nice of the nuke to come with disarmament and armament instructions. That's handy, wouldn't you say?
That was a close one. You better get in here.
It's not going to be easy from here on out. The only way out is through the level 4 storage unit, but it's a mess down there. The Black Ops were using it as a staging point until the aliens came in. If you do make it through, make sure you have them come back for us.
G-Man? Yeah, he's switching the bomb back on. Okay, I'm going to test something. Oh good, it's the one with the healing pool. How you two doing? Well, we're at least better equipped. Like, we literally just have to get to the other end of this warehouse. It's not as though it's even that long. It's as if this place is full of Black Ops. To make you suffer. Of course. Hey man, you decided to be a straggler. You know, it's occurring to me that the commentary has all but vanished, but, like, I think you can tell by seeing that this is an incredibly difficult part of this experience. As a closing chapter ought to be, ultimately. How am I supposed to get through there? The box is blocking my path. Black Ops, if you thought the grunts were bad... That battery limit is arbitrary and annoying. Why it bounced me off of that way. Jumping between these boxes is one of the worst. I have a suspicion that the Black Ops are just getting absolutely destroyed by the Voltigor. Sorry, 2 Voltigors.
Guess you're a good guy. Listen, you've got to get down below. There's something coming through, and it's the nastiest looking thing yet. Some of your buddies went down there a while ago, and I haven't seen them since. I've got some weapons I've piled up in here. You better take as much as you can carry, because I think this is it. Good luck, Corporal.
Now, I could say the final boss battle is underwhelming, but then again, Nihilanth was also a bit of a disappointment. You're basically just jumping around and circle strafing. It's not exactly groundbreaking. Here, you have a bit of a sequence, so, I mean, you could argue that at least there's that. Honestly, this section is a lot easier than what I just went through with those Black Ops just endlessly stomping my guts out. Before we venture into the next room, health pool. Use it. Honestly, this more than anything is what breaks the boss fight, because you can always just come back in here and get your health back up. Granted, this difficulty, you're about 2 hits from death, so that's not making a huge difference. Still... So, rather than going to some foreign alien realm in order to fight the final boss, he's coming us. Well, he, she, it, whatever in the hell this thing is. This just seems like a very cheap appropriation. It's literally just a crystal shoved into like a machine gun and suddenly it's a laser. Critically though, you need those for the boss fight. Because like I said, there's a very specific sequence in which you're supposed to take down this boss. About time. That is the gene worm. Now, note that its nose is very similar to the tentacles. Yes, you poke it in the eyes, go down the ladder because you'll take damage otherwise, and really lean in on that middle. Oh, for God's sakes. And down to 28 health, we just use the pool again. Thing is, this fight starts getting a little complicated. You might have noticed the bridge is out. Another quick dip in the med pool. And yes, weirdly, I find the machine gun is the best way of doing this, because rockets just don't seem to cut it quite as well. You see, that med pool is actually fixed. It heals you 3 points in a second instead of 1. Oh! You bastard. Yeah, go back to your own dimension. I banish you! The power of Saw compels you! Oh, that was nothing more than a big fuck me, wasn't it? Yeah. Yeah, that thing's head structure looks like the tentacles. Come on. I just walk right off the ledge there, Shepard. one more ought to do it. And I'm leaving the room this time. Fuck you. Well, if it isn't the G-Man.
So, Corporal Shepard, we meet at last.
He was also voiced by the same guy that voices Barney.
Avoiding you, a great many matters require my attention.
That's voice acting.
Troubled
You can barely even tell it's him.
hope you understand. And now I require a further indulgence on your part. I cannot close my report until every loose end has been tied up. The biggest embarrassment has been Black Mesa facility, but I think that's finally taken care of itself.
Well, there goes the nuke. Bye-bye, Black Mesa.
Itself. But there is still the lingering matter of witnesses. I admit I have
Osprey in
fascination
Zen.
with those who adapt
Sure.
and survive against all odds. They rather remind me of myself. If for no other reason, I have argued to preserve you for a time.
Thanks, G-Man.
While I believe a civil servant like yourself understands the importance of discretion, my employers are not quite so trusting, and rather than continually subject you to the irresistible human temptation of telling all, we have decided to convey you some
Like it's
way
going to
do
matter,
no
you know,
possible
the
harm.
Combine's about
And
to
where
hit.
no harm can come to you. I'm sure you can imagine there are worse alternatives.
I mean, seriously, you bring Barney into freaking Half-Life 2 and not Adrian Shepard? Are you kidding me? Well, I guess I'm just on the bench until the G-Man needs me again. So, as per usual, I'm going to let the credits scroll because developers deserve their credit, and there you go. But I am going to be narrating over it my thoughts on the game. Now, don't take my silence or even my frustration towards the end of that game as a bad thing. I enjoyed Opposing Force. Perhaps I'd enjoy it more on normal difficulty where it's not as grueling, which is how, if you're going for a fun and story-driven experience, you should go for the normal difficulty, not the hard difficulty like I did. But I also do relish a certain additional challenge, and I proved that it is quite doable. I mean, to some extent, the thing that's souring me is looking forward to the fact that after spending so long to create this footage, I'm going to have to spend as much time going over it, because I have to find all the points where I died in repeated loops and repeated attempts and cut that out so that my viewing audience is not just watching an endless clip show of me buying it. Because a significant portion of this playthrough was that. However, before you go looking at opposing Blue Shift and saying that, well, you didn't die over and over and over and over again in Blue Shift. I mean, Opposing Force must have been a lot harder. Remember that Blue Shift was shorter. There's a lot less to remember. Even if you do die in loops, there's fewer loops to get into. And second of all, the first time I played Blue Shift, the crap recording that I did that you won't see, I died as much as I did here. The reason my second Blue Shift run was so svelte was because I knew where everything was, exactly how to hit it, and I was basically, you know, 3 steps ahead of the curb. Not the case with Opposing Force. I haven't played this in at least a year. So I was going in with just the memory I had, which the basic structure I had in my head. But I wasn't like, oh, there's going to be 2 enemies around that corner. It's like, no. I knew this is the warehouse. It's got a crap ton of Black Ops in it. I knew this is the part with, like, the pit worm. I knew all of that, but the rest of it was just sort of winging it, and yeah, opposing force is great. An expanded arsenal, improved arsenal, expanded enemy type. It's, in many ways, a lot better than Blue Shift. The problem, of course, with this LP, the reason why it seems like I'm having such a hard time, I was playing it on hard. Don't take the potential souring of my grapes at the end of this as a sign that this is a bad game. If you can get opposing force. I mean, given it's 20 years old or whatever, it's probably super cheap on Steam. And if you get it on, like, a sale, you'll probably spend, like, $1 on it or something. I don't know. I mean, Payday 2 is newer, and there was a sale recently where that was, like, $2, so... Opposing force. Grab it. Knock yourself out. I'm planning on doing Half-Life Decay. I wasn't originally. Now, the thing is, if you're watching this as a continuous playlist, you haven't seen Blue Shift yet, and you're about to watch that. But when I'm airing this over the monthly special that it's coming out, it's going to be Blue Shift and then Opposing Force, because chronologically, Blue Shift took place during the Black Mesa incident before Opposing Force, and since I'm airing these concurrently with Black Mesa, I didn't want to spoil things with Opposing Force that early on. So, bit of a temporal conundrum for all of you if you're watching it as it's released or if you're watching it based on the playlist later. I mean, honestly, in the comments, say I was there at the end if you actually watched this far in the video, because I'd wager me ranting in front of a black screen with creepy sounds in the background, that's the game, by the way, is probably not terribly entertaining for a lot of you. I don't know, maybe I'm just trying to get something out of my system for not talking for, like, the last 15 minutes of the game, because I was just so concentrated on not dying over and over and over again. I could always try editing a post-commentary, but that's even more editing, so... Thank you all so much for watching. I have an impressive body of work, for the most part. Well, impressive in volume, not in quality. My videos are avant-garde, at best. But there's a lot of them, so knock yourselves out. Watch other things that I've done. I hope you're all staying happy and healthy out there, and as always, fare thee well.